All right, let's take a look at Unit 4, Lesson 1, Research Questions and Hypotheses. So all of this vocabulary is on the test, so you need to know it. The ones that I want to focus on for this lesson are counterexample. This is just an example that proves a hypothesis false. So if you have, for instance, a sentence like this, all automobiles have four wheels, which counterexample would disprove the hypothesis? You want to think of an example that meets the hypothesis, but you come up with a different conclusion, meaning it has to be an automobile. Okay, we can't, if we're trying to disprove automobiles have four wheels, we can't talk about cats. So it has to be an automobile, but we have to come to a different conclusion where it doesn't have four wheels. So look down below and find the one that is an automobile. Okay, let's see. We have a car called the BMW, I don't know, Izetta, I'm not a car person, has three wheels. Bicycles have two wheels, motorcycles have two wheels, and golf carts have four wheels, and they are not cars. Okay, so you need to select the one that is an automobile that does not have four wheels. So go ahead and pick the one that you think would be correct. Okay, did you select the BMW? That's an automobile that has three wheels. So this would be a great example of a counterexample because the others, bicycle, motorcycles, and golf carts, are not considered automobiles. Okay, conjunction. This is two statements with the word and in between. Disjunction is two statements with the word or. This is on your quiz and your test and in this lesson. So just make sure you know those two little vocabulary words, but we're not going to talk about that. The focus of this video is on research questions and hypotheses. So I'm sure you're familiar with a hypothesis from science class. It is a proposed testable answer to a research question. Okay, research is just the search for knowledge. You do this all the time when you do research on Google. And then we're going to specifically talk about surveys as a form of data collection. So let's come down here and let's look at this example. So to conduct any type of research, you need to have a question. So this would be called the research question. Here's an example. Let me highlight that. Okay, research question. What is the favorite snack of the 10th grade students in my school? So it's something you're interested in researching for whatever reason. So if you have this question that you want to research, you're going to then need to come up with a hypothesis. The hypothesis is, above all, it's testable. Okay, so for this research question, our hypothesis that is testable, that's related to that question, is this. The favorite snack of 10th grade students in my school is fresh fruit. So do you see how it's specific? Fresh fruit was added. You're needing something specific to test, right? And we're going to prove it true or false based on our data collection via a survey. Okay, but we're just curious what the snack is. So we make sure that the details are all the same and we pick something that's testable and specific. All right, it's a good hypothesis. Now, here is another example of, let me move this. That same, another hypothesis you could come up with, or just another way of writing it is putting it in if-then form. This is called conditional form. And typically, a good hypothesis will be in this form. It doesn't mean that this previous one was wrong. We're just taking this sentence and adding the word if and then. We're keeping it specific. And here it is. If the 10th graders in my school were asked what their favorite snack is, then the majority would say fresh fruit is their favorite. You see how it has the same meaning, right? But we've added the if and the then and just rephrased it a little bit. It's still talking about the same things that we can test. All right, so just know that they can be in either form. And let's move on to question number 1. So for the research question, choose the best hypothesis. So here is our research question. This is what we're interested in. Should the minimum age for attaining a driver's license be increased in my state? Okay, minimum age for driver's license, think about that. That's 16 currently. Should that be increased, maybe like 18 or 21? So this is what we're interested in. We have to pick something that would be, well, and it says the best. So there's a couple options here, but we want the best hypothesis, something that's testable and specific and related to this. All people like to drive. Okay, I don't even know what to say about that one. All people don't like to drive. Some people are scared of driving. Okay, that's beside the point. This is not something that would relate to the minimum age of getting a driver's license and increasing that age in our particular state. So it's not specific, it's not related, that's gone. All right. If the minimum age, oh, there we go. Okay, if the minimum age were raised in this state, okay, this is looking good. Minimum age, if it were increased, that's raised in my state. Okay. So, and we have that if, which is nice. And here's your then. So if the minimum age were raised in this state, then there would be fewer accidents among new drivers than there are now. Okay. I don't know if this is the conclusion we're trying to come to. Fewer accidents. It's related, but I don't know if that's our best. It could be. I haven't read them all yet. It's pretty good. It has an if, it has a then. I just am curious what else we got going on down here. Let's see. In states with a higher minimum age for driving, there are fewer accidents among new drivers. Okay, this is related. It is testable, which is good. This is not as related as this one, though. I'm going to guess that these are the two that they're trying to get us to choose from. Let's look. There are more reasons for increasing the minimum age for driving than for lowering it. Okay, that's like a persuasive. No. That's like trying to persuade somebody. We need a hypothesis that's specific and testable and related to this. So let's look at them again. Let me erase my, new tools. Okay. This one's out. This one's out. If the minimum age were raised in the state, then there would be fewer accidents among newer drivers than there are now. I'm thinking this one's going to be it because, and I'll read the other one again, but we have it in conditional form that if then is there. Our hypothesis is exactly what we're interested in, the minimum age being raised in our state. And accidents is something that we can find. We can compare this. We can look at the stats. We can pull it from the city, and we can find, the stats on accidents for 16 to 18-year-olds versus, if we raised it, so 18 and up. So this one looks really, really good. This is a great hypothesis that matches that question. It's specific, and we can figure that out by looking at stats. All right, let's go down. Hold on. I just want to do another example. So let's just do number 3. For the research question, choose the best hypothesis. So here's our question we're interested in. How necessary are the arts in the school system? The arts like art class, music, choir, all those things. Theater. Okay, the arts are necessary because everyone enjoys them. This is a persuasive argument. I mean, I agree with that statement, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the best hypothesis to test. The graduation rates in a school district which has participated in the arts are lower for students who have not participated in the arts than for students who have. Okay, it's related. This is very specific. We could look at graduation rates. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can look up graduation rates. This is very specific. We can pull that data from the school district. And we can look and see if it's lower or higher based on whether they had an elective they loved that's art, music, theater, and all that. That one's looking really good. All right, if concerts and art exhibits in my school are very well attended, then people in art programs like them. Okay, they lost me at like them. Okay, no. Lost me. Okay, and this is talking about concerts and art exhibits, which is specific, but we're talking about not attendance. This isn't even related. It's talking about attendance, okay, and liking it. We're looking at necessity here. That's graduation rates. All right, art education is an unnecessary frill and should be eliminated from the education system. Here's another opinion, just like the first one. This is not a testable specific hypothesis related to how necessary they may be. Okay, and finally, I want to look back up in the notes up here and talk about surveys. We are going to just give you a very quick intro into stats. You can take stats classes and go into more detail about all the ways you can collect data, but for our purposes in this unit, we're going to look at surveys as a data collection method. Okay, so, you're at the mall, somebody stops you, they want you to answer a few questions. This is a random survey. Of course, you're at the mall. Okay, but I don't want to get off on that. So all of this that we're going to talk about in this unit will be about surveys. And I just want to mention this because this is in the next lesson. It's on the test and everything else. It's important. You want to make sure that the survey is not biased. Okay, it needs to be unbiased. Okay, I didn't want you to wait on me to write all that. So the survey and the way that you collect that data, you need to make sure that it's unbiased. You probably already know the term bias. If you're biased towards something, then you're partial to it. So being unbiased, it means that you're not going to favor one response over the other. You're objective, and the way that you ask those questions is not favoring one response over the other or leading them to answer a certain way. Okay, the random too, if it's random, that means there's an equal chance of each being chosen. Just make sure that it's random in nature and that you're polling or surveying people, not all a part of one group, that it's actually representing the population as a whole. So you're not asking only one race questions or only, young people the questions. You're asking at random and you're gathering that data, and it's supposed to represent the population as a whole. And so that's what that means. Just make sure your surveys are unbiased and random. And that's what you need to remember about a survey, because you know what a survey is. You're going to answer some questions and collect the data from random people in an unbiased way. I hope that helps.